So apparently in this movie, the good guys have no regard for innocent human life. Hey everybody, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. I am bringing you a spoiler-free review for Pacific Rim Uprising, the sequel to the original Pacific Rim. Now, I will say off the bat that I was one of the huge fans of the original Pacific Rim. Guillermo del Toro did an amazing job at giving these huge robots this weight and this scale and this epicness. When you see these Jaeger monsters just fighting them with boats as baseball bats and stuff like that, I just loved it. Now we move forward to this movie. This movie, let me say, there's a big difference between a bad movie and an unpleasant movie. To me, this is a bad movie and I enjoyed it. It's not a good movie though. It's not a good sequel, but it's not an unpleasant movie. You know, it's not a movie that you just hate yourself watching, or at least I didn't hate watching it, even though I was nitpicking every single thing that was happening. I'm like, that's not good, that's not good, that's bad. I still enjoyed watching it. Like, I would probably watch this movie again. And for that reason, I'm going to give this movie Friends with Benefits. I probably shouldn't be watching it, but I just like it. Now, this movie, again, is very different than the original one. This movie, the Jaegers, they move so nimble and quick that you don't really feel that scale anymore. You don't feel the weight of the Jaegers. You know, even the monsters in this movie, they don't feel as big. They're big. They have a few moments where you get the scale, but there's so many moments where they're fighting kind of out in the middle of nowhere that you kind of lose that. And then with how quick they are, again, you just don't feel that scope anymore. There's not enough shots of like somebody next to the toe of one, seeing it move, like to really give you that feeling. Also, while the story in the original one was pretty simple, robots fight the monsters so that they don't destroy the cities, this movie's plot, man, it was really stretching it for me. They do something with one of the characters that is just so silly to me, and it's kind of eye-rolling, which kind of leads into what the villain is and stuff, but I don't want to spoil that for you guys. But to me, it was just silly and a little too far-fetched. Far-fetched in a robot versus monster movie. That's how far-fetched this was for me. I will say I did like the action, though. I'm just saying it's different than the original one, but I did like the action. I was entertained. It wasn't like Transformers where I can't tell what the hell's going on. This one, I could tell what was going on, and I liked the different weapons and stuff. One of the problems I had with the original one is at the end, they whip out these like laser sword things and like are chopping Jaegers in half like they're a piece of cake. It's like, why didn't you do that to begin with? This movie, all of these Jaegers have like their little special weapons and stuff, and they're using them right off the bat. So I was like, thank you. Not just like waiting until the last second to do those things. It's like in Dragon Ball Z when like they could kick the other guy's ass the whole time, but they wait to go Super Saiyan until like the last possible second when they're already about to lose, and then they win. That kind of stuff always bugs me. Like, just power up, beat the guy, and be done. But this movie's plot does take its time to move along. It does take a while to kind of get the characters together. It takes a while to actually know who the villain is, because it's not like the first one where it's monsters, go get them. This one, it's not till like halfway or maybe even farther into the movie that you really understand what the villain is. And to me, that was a little bit of a problem. The other problem this movie had was it felt like every single character and character arc had a complete missing chunk. Like, they each had their own little first act and their third act. They start here, they end here, but they're all missing a little chunk in between showing how they got there. You know, you have John Boyega's character. He doesn't want to have anything to do with his dad's legacy and being a Jaeger pilot. He wants to get drunk and stuff. But then next thing you know, he's all for it and he's defending it, and here's why you need to be proud of it and stuff. And there's no real connection there. Like, they've kind of forced him into the program. He doesn't want to be there, and then all of a sudden he's all for it. You know what I mean? You also have this girl. She's like 15. She's also kind of dragged into this position. She's put in there. It almost kind of reminded me of Ender's Game. You have like this squad of kids because for some reason, in every movie, kids are always like, oh, you got to do everything when they're young. Like Jedis, oh, they got to be young when you start, etc. Whatever. They got all these young kids, and they don't. That whole section of the movie just felt so shoehorned into me. All these kids that are these cadets, they have their little drama in there, and it just felt so out of place to me. It felt like it was missing a chunk again. The girl and this other girl, they have this issue, but then the next thing you know, they like respect each other, but there was never really any reason why. Again, everything in this movie, there's a beginning and an end, but the middle part just doesn't connect for me. But it's also obvious a lot of hard work and a lot of crew members went into making this movie. I mean, this isn't a crappy looking movie. The movie looks amazing. You know what I mean? The special effects, in my opinion, are pretty damn good. But it doesn't matter how good the movie looks and is shot and acted and all that stuff if the story isn't there. People will give Scott Eastwood a lot of crap for this movie. Oh, he's not good in that movie. I think Scott Eastwood's great. But he can only work with the dialogue that's given to him, the way the director guides him. For all you know, he did some Oscar-worthy performance in there, and the editors and stuff chose this performance or this shot. I've been on a lot of movie sets. I've seen Nicolas Cage in person give dialogue a certain way, and then I've seen the final cut of the movie where it's like, oh, they chose that version? Weird. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, actors are kind of pawns for the writers and the director. They have to, you get the writer, which is going to give you the dialogue and stuff. You get the director, here's how you're going to do it. To a certain extent, obviously, the actors have to bring their own performance. But I think Scott Eastwood delivered what the director's vision was, and it was believable to me. So I think people give Scott Eastwood too much crap. I think he's good. But honestly, this whole movie just feels unnecessary. The first movie was a great one-and-done type of movie. It really did not need a sequel. Everything about the story in this movie feels shoehorned in. And everything's so convenient. Everything conveniently or luckily happens. Oh, luckily he found that person in the city randomly. Oh, luckily they figured out this info randomly, which coincidentally they only found out because he coincidentally did this, and this coincidentally, happily, luckily happened. All this stuff. Everything is so convenient in this story. The story is what drives it down. But at the end of the day, like I said, I enjoyed watching it. I could watch this movie, eat popcorn, eat some candy, and I had a smile on my face and I had fun. So if you're looking for a fun movie, I think you may enjoy it. At least I did. If you're looking for a really in-depth movie, if you're looking for a good sequel to the first one, you're not going to enjoy this movie. You got to know what it is going into it. It's just a commercialized, better version of Transformers, a better version of the Power Rangers, basically. You got the guys in the suits, and they get in their big robots and fight. But yeah, what do you guys think? I want to know what you guys think. Was this movie even necessary? Did you like this movie? Did you like the first one? Let me know whatever you want to know in the comments below. Also, if you want to stick around, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much all that stuff at KM Reviews. And if you want to see more trailer reactions and movie reviews, stay tuned if you can handle it. Go.